I'm white. Identify, our pronouns are she, her.
Said part of my premise is we can't overcome deeply flawed structures and systems unless we recognize the origins of these systems and agree we must dismantle and replace them.
Inherited this system, like Jeanette said, from past governments.
We'll issue an executive order in support of the Race and Social Justice Initiative. We must ensure this lens is top of mind and top priority for our departments and directors.
Make recommendations to the budget director and the mayor about which changes will advance equity to the best of our ability. Been thinking about how to do this differently or how to embed it more deeply in the process.
I'll make sure to do our intro, right? Name, race, pronouns.
This is at the level of our DNA.
Katie Davis Gart reporting for Rebel News on scene of a major scandal involving the city of Seattle and Mayor Bruce Harrell, where a former white employee is suing the city for years of alleged racial discrimination. Josh Deemer, who was first hired in 2013 by the city's Human Resources Department, claims in a lawsuit that despite being honored by the city for excellence, he could not overcome the city's overt discrimination against him through its Race and Social Justice Initiative. According to the lawsuit, Deemer claims that he was pressured to resign from a position instead of requesting a leave of absence under the Family Medical Leave Act. The city told him that requesting leave would deny a person of color an opportunity for a promotion and that he would be showing his white privilege if he didn't resign. The suit also claims that upper-level managers told employees that senior roles and new positions will be filled with people of color, and court documents state that Deemer was forced to profess that he's racist simply because he was born white. Deemer claims that when he spoke out against the city's anti-white racial messaging during mandatory workshops, his colleagues labeled him a white supremacist and created a hostile work environment. City employees are also forced to participate in the city's Race and Social Justice Initiative, which is a citywide program that aims to eliminate structural racism through forcing white employees to acknowledge their, quote, white privilege and power. The RSJI workshops teach that white males, like Deemer, are bolstered by racism, that they institutionalize it, and that individuals, institutions, and communities are often unconsciously and habitually rewarded for supporting white privilege and power, according to Deemer's attorneys with the Pacific League Foundation. Now, while these are simply mere allegations at this point in time, these claims are hard to turn a blind eye to when the city has become obsessed with dividing everyone by race. And now, the city has gone as far as forcing employees to state their race and ethnicities before speaking at meetings. Just take a look at the insanity.
Remember our intros, right? Race, pronouns, that sort of thing. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Kelly. My name is Jeanette Blankenship, and I am white, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
Black, Pan-African, he, him, his pronouns. Thank you for joining us for transformative budgeting for racial equity. We have to really start with decolonizing the space. We have to understand what that means, right? And really invite an intersectional analysis around how we're looking at race and social justice and how we're looking at how we acknowledge where we start, where we come from.
When I say that all of our systems have worked to enforce, create, and uphold racism and exclusion, I really mean all systems.
I use she, her pronouns, and I identify as Black, ethnically Somali.
So in a country colonized and declared founded by white men with means, all others have been marginalized and made vulnerable. These disparities, which flow from the legacy of the racism, patriarchy, ableism on which this country was founded.
So as government employees, it's really important for us to see where our space is in this work and see where we're starting and where we're trying to go, and to start with decolonizing the space.
Now, majority systems, whether they're wealth, corporate, white, and other forms of supremacy, will do all they can to maintain that supremacy and power.
I identify as white. I use she, her, hers pronouns.
Those in favored in-groups spend whole lifetimes trying to uphold and defend a system and structures that they deeply and innately know are wrong or a struggle from the guilt of complicity. And if you're the out-group, then you're constantly struggling to overcome generations of hatred, fear, feelings of inferiority, plus the actual lack of wealth, lack of opportunity. This is at the level of our DNA.
And I identify as Latino mixed, and I use he, him pronouns.
Throughout the departments in the city, to have finance managers have conversations with the RSJI apparatus and advocates in their department so that we can put the budget process through an RSJI ringer, right? A sort of overlaying the RSJI lens in the budget process.
I'm white. Identify, our pronouns are she, her.
Said part of my premise is we can't overcome deeply flawed structures and systems unless we recognize the origins of these systems and agree we must dismantle and replace them.
Inherited this system, like Jeanette said, from past governments.
We'll issue an executive order in support of the Race and Social Justice Initiative. We must ensure this lens is top of mind and top priority for our departments and directors.
Make recommendations to the budget director and the mayor about which changes will advance equity to the best of our ability. Been thinking about how to do this differently or how to embed it more deeply in the process.
Make sure to do our intro, right? Name, race, pronouns.
This is at the level of our DNA.
Now, Rebel News has reached out to the city and Mayor Bruce Harrell for comment, but have not yet received a response. They were actually meeting here earlier today, and I was hoping to catch a city council member to question them about the allegations, but in typical Seattle fashion, they are still refusing to meet in person due to the dangers of COVID. Now, Rebel News is going to stay on top of this case every step of the way and will continue to provide updates. So if you enjoy what we are doing, please go to rebelnewsusa.com and consider pitching in a couple of bucks, since we are 100% viewer funded, and that way we stay uncorrupted. We pride ourselves on not taking a dime from the government to deliver you guys truth, accuracy, and fairness. So again, rebelnewsusa.com.